Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd as well as my friends over at Michaels.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today we're going to work on the Crochet Granny, and this is rectangular in motion, and we have two different types of yarns. There will be two different videos, but they're actually the same video as far as instruction wise, and they're just demonstrating in two different areas of the Michaels.com website as well as the Crochet Crowd, because there's two different types of yarns being used. On this one side we have the Caron tea cakes, and on the other side we have Caron Sprinkle Cakes. The pattern is the same for both, and it's both using an 8mm size L crochet hook in order to play. So today I'm gonna break down the pattern for you, and then we're gonna get started because this is a really quick and easy project for you to be able to do. This video has sound alerts added. When you hear this sound, it will be your signal that the segment is finishing up. Press stop and crochet the instructions, and then press play again to continue along in your project. So here's the yarn of choice, and we have either Caron tea cakes or Caron Sprinkle Cakes. Again, the pattern is the same, and this is a really wonderful idea because you have the color transitions built right into the yarn, so you don't have that hassle of joining new yarns only when you're running out of one ball to another. So it's a really neat idea, and you will see that you'll end up having long, beautiful variegated yarn as a result. The Afghan size is approximately 45 inches by 60 inches, and how many balls will you need? You can either use 5 balls of this or 5 balls of that, and you can mix and match too because the gauge is the same as well. So without further ado, let's get started on your beginning chain, and then we're gonna show you how to be able to make this in order to do it nice and quick and easy. So here's one of the projects turned sideways, and all we're going to do is that we're going to make a chain, and then we're going to build around this chain in a complete circle and then start really growing it out. Because it's an 8mm size L crochet hook, and because of the thickness of the yarn, this particular project doesn't take any time at all. And then all we just have to do is identify every time we hit a corner in order to adjust as we move our way up and around this particular project. As you can see, the color transitions are built right into the ball, so it's one less thing you need to worry about. But I have some samples made. Let me show you those. So on screen now there are two different samples. The one on top is Caron Sprinkle Cakes, and it's a tweed yarn, and you can see it's got flecks of other pieces of material in it to give it the tweed look, and it's very country setting. Like it's really quite awesome, and it's again really quick to make up, and you can see that the colors transitioned on its own, so that's one less thing you need to worry about. The one down here is Caron tea cakes, and this is a very different yarn as well, and as far as coloring and texture and feel. And what happens is that you start off in your beginning chains just like you did on the other one, and then you just work your way into revolution. So you can see that we kind of started off with the green as we began the yarn ball, and then we came around and it changed over to blue, and then we kept on going, and then it eventually changed to a new color. So it gives you that beautiful variegated changes without having to change the yarn ball itself. So it's really quite a wonderful opportunity to play. So 5 balls either this or 5 balls of that, so whether it's Caron tea cakes or Sprinkle Cakes, it'll give you the desired wishes of 45 inches by 60 inches. So let's begin. We're going to create a slip knot, and we're going to insert our hook in. So what we have here is that we have to chain a certain amount of count in order to get that beginning settled around, so that we can go around and around it. So let's begin, and remember that the slip knot on there never counted as 1. So we have to do a total of 32. So just yarning over and pulling through. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and go all the way to 32, and meet me back here in just a moment. So now that I have my 32 on here, what I want to do is that I want to establish my first round. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come down this chain and to the other side, and then we're gonna circle around the end of this chain and then come back the other side in order to form the full revolution. So what we want to do is that we want to go 4th chain from the hook. So let's just count back. So we have 1 there, 2, 3, and 4. Turn it over and get the back loop of that chain and yarning over, and I want you to double crochet 2 times into this particular stitch, or into this chain. So with the beginning one that you had left here that you skipped over, that is counted as 1, 2, and 3, and that matters because everything is in groups of 3. So what I want you to do is that I want you to chain 1, and I want you to skip the next 3 chains on the chain. So 1, 2, 3, and go to the 4th, back loop only again, and I want you to put in 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3, and then chain 1, and then what are you gonna do? So here's the repeat pattern. So you're gonna skip 3, so 1, 2, and 3, and you're gonna go to the 4th one, and you're gonna put in 3 double crochets. So what I want you to do is continue that same idea until you get close to the other side of this chain, and then I'll see you there in just a moment. So just make your way across. Don't forget to chain 1 in between each group of 3. So I'll see you right over here. So I'm coming up close to the end of this chain. So let's review. So I just did my group of 3. Don't forget to chain 1 first, and then you're going to skip 3 stitches or 3 chains. So 1, 2, 3, and the 4th one is the final one that's left. So in that one we want to do a full turnaround corner. So we're going to do 3 double crochets into that final chain. So 1, 2, and 3. And then what we want to do is that we want to chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3, and back into that same one again for 3 more double crochets. So this will be the shorter side of the Afghan. And notice how I'm kind of turning the project as I'm doing it. So we were here, and then I'm just naturally turning it around. So now chain 3, this is the next corner, and then into that same one again right on the end for 3 more double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. So now we've kind of just turned ourselves upside down. So these are upside down now. So what you want to do is see where the other ones are already in. Those are the ones that you're going to play all the way to getting back to the other side. So after you have this 3 done, chain 1 first, and then just skip to the base of where these 3 are already sitting, which is the next group, and then put in 3 double crochets there. So 1, and what I would recommend before you do that, see this straggler that you left, just lay it down on top of that line and get it stuck underneath, and do 3 double crochets. So if you put it on top of it, it'll be underneath these stitches and hold it into position, and then you don't got to worry about any loose tails at the end. So then you're going to chain 1, skip to the next one, and you're putting in your 3 double crochets, chain 1 after that, and then keep on moving. So the only difference of this round between all the rest of them, this is just getting you established, but then once you can identify the corners, it gets really easy for this kind of thing, especially if you know granny squares or granny rectangles. It's all the same. So we're going to put a 3 into the next one, and then don't forget to chain 1 after that. So as I'm making my way across, what's gonna happen is that the final one that we come around to the other side, we've actually only put one side of 3 in that first one that we started with, so we have to finish the other 2 sides, and I'll show you that in just a moment. Okay, so here's the final one. So the final one has to have 1 sitting up here, has to have 1 on the outside as well. So chain 1 to finish that chaining of that group of 3. So come into the final one, and I want you to double crochet, and you're gonna do that 3 times, and then to turn a corner will always be chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, coming back into that same one again, and I want you to put in 3 double crochet. So do you know what's missing? Well, after you get this one done, so you can see that you've come almost all the way around, you're missing this final corner. So to do that, it's just chaining a 3, and then you slip stitch to the beginning one that you had started with, just like there. So you can see that you've went all the way around, and this is one side, one side, one side, and you can see it's identical on the other side. So you have 1, 2, and 3. So let's begin all the other rounds, and they all start off the same way, and they just go as big as you need to go. So let's begin the next round. So you'll always end up where the next round at the start you'll have to slip stitch over first. So you have to get yourself to the first chain 1 space. So whether you're here in the corner or whether you end it partially way down the middle, it always will be the same thing. So you have to slip stitch. So just go into the first stitch, pull through and through, and then go into the next stitch, pull through and through, and then finally you're in the chain 1 space, so pull through and through. And now this is where you're gonna start this round. So you're gonna go 1, 2, and 3. So there's your chain 3, that counts as a double crochet, and you're gonna double crochet 2 more times. So 1 and 2. So with that chaining in 3 and the 2 that you just put in there, there's your 3 double crochet, and you're gonna chain 1, and then you just jump to the next space available to you, and then just throw in 3 double crochets there. And you just keep on doing that all the way across. So chain 1 now and come to your next space and put in 3 double crochet. Chain 1, 3 more double crochet. So the only difference now between this round and last round is that the corners will all get further apart from each other as each round goes. So chain 1, put 3 in the next, and all you just have to do is just pay attention to where the corners are and continue to match the corners with each other every time you're passing a corner to get it to grow up equally. So chain 1 is done, and then 3 into the next. Okay, chain 1, 3 into the next, and the corner is next after this. So now that these 3 are going in, chain 1 first, and you can see here is the corner. So in this corner here, it'll always be the same for the corners. It'll always be 3 double crochet. So 1, 2, and 3. Then to turn the corner is chain 3, and then just turn your project, and in the same space again I want you to put 3 more double crochet. So you can see that this corner just grew out by this round. Okay, so the corner just went from here, now extended out. Now chain 1, and the corner happens to be the very next one here, and as you get bigger the space between the corners gets larger and larger, but the space in between the corners are always going to be the same. So here's the first part, and then chain 3 to actually turn, and then 3 more double crochets into the same one. And then keep on moving. So just chain 1, and then here's the next one right here. So now you're just working along the edges again. So what I'll do is that I will keep on going here off camera, and so I'm just gonna do my same thing. I've just 3 double crochets into each space, and then in the corner don't forget it's 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet, and then your final corner, and then right where we met back up before. So I'll see you before we turn the main corner. So what's happening here off camera is that the yarn is about to change to the new color. So what I want to show you here, it's not a cut of the yarn, it's just a dye difference. So some people online say the yarn is all cut up in order to get the colors. This particular yarn, it's not, it's just dyed. So you can see it's now just changed color on its own. There's no knots at all, and it's not something you have to worry about. You just keep on going. So this particular ball that I'm using has a lot of great colors in it, so just as you can see here, and make sure you chain 1 after this one, and then we're about to hit that corner next. So I really wanted to show that to you because some people think that the yarn is cut, and the sprinkle cakes are the same way. The different kinds of yarns that you see, they're just transitioning on its own through the dye process. So as we begin the final corner here, so this is one corner, so you're gonna do 3 double crochet, chain 3, and 3 double crochet into the same one, so that allows you to turn the corner, and then chain 1, and now you can see that you're almost all the way around. You can see that this corner is missing, so you're just gonna put in 3 double crochet, chain 3, and 3 double crochet. And then after that, see this, the next one has already been filled in because you started there. You're gonna chain up 1 and then just join it to the beginning of the top of the third. So now what you can see is that you can start the next round really quite easily. So how do you start the rounds? So just slip stitch over across the top of the next 2 and then right into the next space, and then you start again. So chain 3 and then 2 more double crochets in there, and then you just work your way across. So after that, chain 1 and then 3 double crochet into the next one, and then as you get to your corner, same thing, 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet. You have a space before you get to the next corner, so you just fill that in, and just like as you already know it, like here, and then come all the way back around, and you'll end up right here Once again, slip stitch over and then start the next round. So you can see it's a really quite an easy thing to be able to do, and no matter what size that you end up with, you'll see that it looks fabulous each and every time. So until next time, I'm Mikey on behalf of Michaels.com as well as the Crochet Crowd. Have a great day. We'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.